welcome to SunnyRedemption Sailing, your biweekly voyage for BS3 game news, where we're celebrating the launch of what could possibly be my game of the year, Forza Horizon 6. I have put 10 hours into this masterpiece. How much time have you managed to put in the early access period?
About the same. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm playing the hell out of this game when I can, when I'm not just working extra, which has been a lot.
Yeah, suddenly my work kind of got busy too the past couple of days, but like Thursday, Friday, because I used the New Zealand trick to play it on Thursday. Yeah. But at the same time, okay, so I think the clue is actually in the city side of the bridge for the treasure car, the Figaro. Anyway, so I played a couple of hours on Xbox and then a couple hours on PC for my solo first impressions, which you can check out in the linked video above. And then once the video was done and uploaded, I really put in time to that with 6 hours of audiobooks.
Nice.
It's just this is the perfect game for just driving around and exploring in a way that I haven't been excited about since 3. Because I think that 4 and 5 had a lot of good ideas. They were good games, don't get me wrong. The thing is, though, that they were also very poorly organized games. 4 was a little bit too barren after a while, and 5 was too crowded. Even with the attempt to pace out exploration better, I think this game has nailed the progression so far. Because 10 hours in, I still haven't gotten past the green wristband. I think that the wristband system enables a tiered progression where a bunch of activities then end up becoming available at once. But then, you know what? I think I'd like to do a barn find, actually. That should give us plenty of time. Anyway, because the treasure cars are tricky, I've been looking for clues for hours and still not found them.
Oh, wait. The waypoint was down here. It's up here.
I moved the group route to the barn find.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, I should have warned you, but yeah, so 10 hours in, everything that I wanted to be fixed is. And that's mainly, again, the progression and feeling of things being too busy. All the activities that were strong before are still strong here. I mean, the delivery stuff is basically just drift challenges writ large with, speed stay above 80 miles per hour kind of thing as well. But with a clever, unique cultural twist. The mansion system is much improved because now you can unlock houses and barn finds with the stamps that you collect from exploration. So that's paced better too. And I really enjoyed the cultural explanation of why abandoned properties are considered so precious when somebody buys them in Japan, that you're expected to take care of the local area. Not just the house. It's not just a sense of individual property in Japan, it seems. It's a sense of community space, to some degree. And Mei is one of the most interesting characters that I've seen in the series so far. Jordy's kind of there. I mean, the bar is in hell, other than Scotty Tyler. But, like, there's at least an attempt to tie in a little bit more story. Just enough to really make the setting sing as I get stuck in a ditch. There's been weird terrain glitches with this game for some reason. And I don't like the way that it's more difficult to just, like, friend a stranger and invite them to your convoy. Because if they don't accept your activities and just want to do their own thing and you don't like that, then you can't just friend them and try to do something later. There was this one guy who just wanted to do drag races, and that's cool and all, but my car was too low powered, so he just beat me every time. And I couldn't find his name on Xbox, so I was thinking maybe it was Steam, but that didn't work either, so I don't know what happened. Maybe it's that Forza has a username system of its own now?
I don't think so.
Well, there
think it's
is something
just
about
your-
accounts on a website. No, it is just your gamer tag, most likely.
Yeah.
Because
It's just
even
your
on
gamer
Steam,
tag or
you have to
Steam
log
name.
in with Microsoft.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, even if you're playing on Steam, I think it just serves as your gamer tag. Yeah. So
The
I
one
don't know.
time I did that was when I played Forza Horizon 4 on my Steam Deck, but it didn't work at all at that time. I don't know why. This was just before the game was going to be delisted, and I wanted to play it portably without having to fiddle around with installing Windows mode.
Yeah.
And apparently the performance is good on the Steam Deck at about 45 FPS, which is about where my mini PC is at 1080p low. Anyway, you were saying?
Yeah, I was gonna say about like Horizon 4 on the Steam Deck. I guess I wouldn't see the point in putting so much effort into making that game Steam Deck verified if they were just going to be delisting it anyways. So maybe that's why it didn't work.
Yeah, well, again, it seems like every version, other than the leaked one from a few weeks ago that, or whatever, that did not have good performance because it was probably from a build from a few months ago before final optimizations.
Yeah.
Which is like, wow, you're just stupid. And you're getting your Microsoft account banned for literally 8,000 years.
Mhm.
And by the time your ban is done, it'll be over 9,000 CE. But apparently,
Ooh.
I'm not allowed to fast travel now for some reason. I think
To
maybe
me?
because it is. Oh,
Because I'm in a cutscene, maybe it won't let you fast travel to me because of that.
yeah,
I don't
maybe
know.
that's it. But it just won't let me fast travel anywhere.
Sure.
Yeah, I think
Well,
that
you
might
can
be
only
because of
fast
the live
travel to
environment.
roads you can only fast travel to roads you've driven on. That's the
Oh,
restriction.
that's the catch.
So
I
instead
see.
of having to pay for fast travel, which I like that they ditched that, because I'd rather put my money towards like tunings and upgrades and stuff.
Yeah, it was always too low of credits to really matter, and then it was just an annoyance.
Like, well,
Speaking-
we want you to at least see all the roads in the game before you can zip around all of them.
That makes sense. Well, speaking of simplifying things, the drone mode is so much easier to access now. It's not even funny. I love it.
Yeah.
For finding the barn finds, it's really good. Now, I mean, it wasn't not good before, but again, it was harder to access because the menus were a disaster of differently sized boxes and things like that. And they've even simplified the car mastery now, so it's not quite as daunting for each car to have to spend so many points. And the skills that are cheapest are ones that you would probably want to unlock with that car anyway. Like, there's this one Ford that I can't remember the name of because I'm terrible at remembering car names other than brands. But I loved that it gave me bonus points on wreckage because it was really great to then do that. And now I'm trying to find mascots along the way because they are so distracting.
I know. There's so much to do along pretty much every road.
Looks like your own
Exactly.
stamp.
And I got another stamp for that, so that's cool.
Mhm.
I was like, why did I stop? Okay,
And
there we go.
stamped. Cool, huh? Not much beats racing through the bamboo forest with your friends.
Huh, well. Nice.
Check
So
out the
that's
new barn
4,
find rumors.
3 out of like 8.
Some more just dropped.
Oh, so even more barn find rumors.
Yep. Yeah, I'm on like
Cool.
the
Some
4th
mods is
stamp
now
level,
available.
and I'm on the 3rd
All that
wristband.
exploration is paying off.
That's awesome. Okay, so I see how they're pacing out the northern exploration now with the
Oh, did you
house
just get
system.
the snowy? Yeah, you got the house
Yep, mhm.
there. Yeah.
So I got the Tokyo house for free with VIP because I paid for the upgrade, and I'm
Yep,
sure you did
same
too.
here. Yep.
So that's an important thing to keep in mind if you value that sort of thing. It's just a little nice to have. Apparently my car landed weird. What is physics in this game? Because I just argued with some idiot about him being like, oh, this truck can't possibly go 300 miles an hour on gravel. and catch a bullet train, I'm like, dude, calm the fuck down. It's a simcade game. It's leaning more into arcade a little bit sometimes, especially with the railroads, because like, if you realistically ground down a car and then had it be run over by a train, I don't think that would be very fun. So like, there's been a lot of people like that who are like, oh, the tire looks a little weird, so terrible game compared to GTA, a generalized action game, that doesn't have dedicated driving engines that stood the test of time.
Yeah, that's the thing about any big release these days, is that the pedantry just comes out in full force.
Because negativity sells. I have to basically share my post practically everywhere that talks about Forza Horizon 6 on Threads or Reddit or Blue Sky in order to not be buried by the fucking algorithm. Because a simple review from two northsentinelese gamers is apparently not what YouTube wants. Though apparently they're being sued by, I forget who. The nice thing is, too, about this game, that it really doesn't take itself so seriously, even with such a serious culture. Because, like, people have been having a lot of fun joking about deforesting almost the entire nation of Japan, except for the cherry blossoms, which are made of do not offendium. And why would you want to destroy the cherry blossom trees anyway? That just feels rude. But then again, a bunch of people climbed all over shrines in Assassin's Creed Shadows and got people upset until they patched that out. They really wanted to be respectful. That makes perfect sense. But, like, when it's Skillsong time, there's gonna be no other trees left. When I actually have the soundtrack up, because there's been some divided opinions about the soundtrack. I haven't listened to any of it at all due to copyright crap. So, I'm wondering if you can fill me in on what you liked about it.
I mean, I think a lot of the Japanese-centric stuff, they have some really good picks from there. Like, some classic stuff like Yellowmagicorchestra, who were like early electronic pioneers in like the 70s.
Ooh.
And then they have newer stuff like, well, have you done the mech race yet?
No, against the Gundam?
Oh, okay. Yes. Well,
is that
yes.
The not Gundam? There's two mech races.
Yeah. So whenever you do the mech race, I implore you to at least listen to the music on that one, because it's probably got my favorite song in the game.
Oh wow!
It's actually a song from a One Piece movie by
my
favorite Japanese singers, Otto.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
It's so fitting for that race too. It's very like energetic and almost like an anime opening. Yes.
Nice.
So whenever you get to the mech race, just if you're gonna turn on soundtrack for one moment, turn it on for that part.
Okay. Well,
and
definitely.
Yeah, it's just got a solid selection of stuff. Like, actually, Bandmade just popped up there. They're a pretty good, like, newer band.
Cool.
I'm just scrolling through. Yeah, Zutomayo. Yeah, they're very good too. They're on like the Gacha City Radio has been my favorite by far. Just
nice.
It's got a lot of newer sort of J-pop stuff going on.
Ah, so there's new radio station types as well. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, they always have like, I mean, maybe they've gone more in depth with this, but they always have some radio stuff like suited to whatever region they're in, and like
I see.
So Japan, they have other like, there is non-Japanese music in here, but like it's very Japan centric, and that's just for my taste. Like that's fine by me.
By the way, you can just park your car by where the barn find is. I'm fine with that.
Oh, my bad. I like got way.
That's okay. If you find a different event, then you can just teleport me to that.
I'm just gonna fast travel to where it was.
Okay.
At least it's still marked on my map.
Right. Yeah, because of the gift system, which has been improved a bit too. It's nice to be able to shed lower grade cars from your collection. Oh wow! That's so obvious. Oh my god.
I got lucky. I just kind of drove in this direction, and like suddenly the cutscene popped up.
Ha!
Look what we have.
Okie dokie.
You should get recording. If this is what I think it is, You're not gonna want to miss it.
Okay. How can it possibly
It's
top
fun.
the
I can only
NSXR
imagine what
GT,
this
though?
Toyota 2000 GT would have looked like.
That only 5 were
Stunning
made
at
of.
that.
That's so cool.
Not only beautiful, but incredibly high performing. It was manufactured to be both comfortable for everyday use but still race ready. Really, it could be considered one of Japan's fast supercars.
Extremely rare, too. I heard only a small amount were ever produced for road driving.
Indeed, this one's had its interior stripped out. Been resting for a good while. When we get this back up and running, it will be truly impressive.
Well, it looks like we're gonna need to order a lot of parts. Let's get it loaded, Yuji.
And clearly, by the rest, nobody cares, or we would be in a lot of trouble with the authorities.
It'll be a bit before it's ready.
Okay. So, let me think. Well, could do one of the day trips. We'll just like drive
Yeah, those
there.
are fun. I've done a couple of those.
Join my day trip in the Minamino region? Leaving from the gas station.
This is where you like follow her as she tours around and explains stuff, right?
Yeah,
That's
and
the
then
idea.
there's like there's a race after.
Of course
The
there is,
first
because
segment
it's
is just sort of a little
Forza
peek
Horizon.
forward, then yeah, there has to be a race. And
Speaking of races, is there a race with a bullet train?
not that I've unlocked.
Oh
Might
man.
be. I mean, so
Well, at least so
okay,
far.
there's not a race directly against the bullet train, but in the mech race there is a bullet train at one point.
Okay, yeah. That
So
makes
it's not
sense.
like focused on the bullet train, but it is.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
So I don't know if there's going to be like a full focused race against one.
Yeah, after this day trip, we can do like a delivery mission or two because those are so much fun.
Okay.
I-
Yeah,
I
I only
Compared
did
it to Crazy
like,
Taxi for food.
Yeah, I only did. Oops, that's you.
Well, we got a link drift for that. Anyway, you were saying?
Yeah, I did like one of the delivery missions, but I was just more in the mood to keep on racing, so I just like did one and then moved on.
And how far away am I from unlocking the first mech race?
Let me try to remember. It's pretty early. I was kind of surprised you didn't get there yet, but maybe you just haven't been focusing on the wristband stuff.
No, I
That's
really
the
have not
progression
been
track.
focusing on the wristband system. I've really just been
Yeah.
focused on road discovery, smashing signs, collecting mascots, things like that.
Yeah, I want to say it's after like the second wristband, so you're
Yeah,
probably
probably.
pretty close. I think.
Yeah, probably. I think I'll do that on my own time, though, because I really don't want to deal with the wristband system and then have my map overwhelmed.
Yeah.
At least not yet. I will on my own time, but there's plenty to do before that, so...
Oh yeah.
And hopefully before I melt from the heat in my room. My god. Anyway. So, let's see. I thought you were down the road a ways, but I'm just gonna drive to the destination. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm just filling out my road completion pretty much in the downtime.
Yeah, I've gotten close to 200 roads, and
Yeah,
I
I think I'm about to
100%ed
hit-
that for...
Yeah, I've always 100%ed the road stuff.
Yeah, pretty much for Forza Horizon 2 and 3 I did, and then for 4 and 5 I didn't care, because I just was not as invested in those games. Again, it's not that they weren't good, it's just eventually I got exhausted with them. But I'm just going through a speed zone now, fingers crossed here. Okay, personal best, nice.
What I'm kind of working on now is at least having one decently tuned and like well-painted car for each type of event. So there's probably still a couple I'm missing that I haven't really landed on, like one that I like. But I think I've got at least one to pull out for each type of event at this point.
I used to have a girl space friend of mine who would do the tuning for me named Titan Tuning, and it seems like she's alive and still playing this game. So I'll try and get in touch with her and see if she can help me with that. Now that it's not just turn everything into an X car, the meta, then I think that it'll be more interesting. But
Yeah,
I just don't know enough about tuning to do it myself.
That way, that's fine. I just never saw the appeal of doing that.
Well, the
Like,
appeal
it's
at
cool
the
that
time,
game's flexible, but it's just like, I don't know.
the
It's not
appeal
fun
at
to
the
just
yeah,
go through the urban areas at 200 miles an hour and crash into everything to me.
the appeal for me at the time was to no diff pretty much all the races, but then eventually that did get boring.
Right, but it does scale
Right.
too. So like, if you bring in a B class car, it's not like you're gonna get destroyed or anything. The game scales very well.
Yeah,
the only
that's
thing
fair.
that I recommend, as far as tuning goes, it's just like, at least, like, I always, before I enter a race, I at least tune my car a little bit. Either just, you know, to what I want, or just find a tune real quick. Like, I always,
Okay.
you know, try to tune it a little bit, but I don't get that into it.
I see.
Because, like, if you race with the stock tuning that you get, like, the difficulty will adapt to you, but I'd rather have the cars feel the way that I want them to feel. So I at least try to, like, adapt to whatever race I'm doing. Like, if it's a circuit race with a lot of hairpins, like, obviously don't just go all in on acceleration and, like, you know, give yourself some good cornering ability.
And having a field that's tuned for every individual person is tricky, because I just had to help a guy on Threads who was very stuck on one of the early races because he kept crashing into walls instead of drifting. So, like, even the basics of drifting can take a little bit of getting used to for races specifically. But there are things like drift clubs for that reason. And the delivery missions are also a hilarious way to do that.
And you want to make sure you're driving something that's actually going to drift, because there's plenty of cars in this game. If you're driving a big top-heavy truck, you're not gonna drift well in that thing if it's not tuned properly.
And speaking of social media as well, before we get into the day trip, I also got messaged by a PlayStation 5 player who was so jealous about this game and was wondering when it would come out. And I said, fall. And you know what? It's not necessarily a business decision. It's more of a development decision. But I think delaying PlayStation 5 ports, even for the live service games, is perfectly fine. Because then when those do arrive on PS5, they are well optimized for that, and likely have DLC released alongside that. You know, likely the first expansion will come in fall, and PlayStation 5 players won't have to wait for months like us for that. The other thing is, though, that I think Sony is getting the hint. So Herman Holst sat all the employees down in a virtual meeting and said that future single-player games will not come to PC. And you know what? That makes sense. They really do not want the Steam machine to eat their lunch.
And whatever future Xbox Helix.
The Helix,
whatever that ends up being able to do as far as PC games.
They've lost the battle with past PC ports, because if they start yanking these games from stores, then people will get upset. But also, people who have bought them will, you know, still be able to play those, presumably. So, that the horse has already left that barn for, like, Spider-Man Remastered and God of War and stuff.
They're not going to go on a delisting spree or anything. It's just like, that was the strategy of the past, 5 years they've been doing it, and now they're like, okay, because the big thing that I've heard, at least, is like they're not selling especially well, like the late ports to PC. So it's like either they can change the strategy into doing day and date releases, or they can be more selective about it. And it seems like they're choosing the selective option, which, as much as you can be like, I'm always for, like, oh, more games should be everywhere if the business can sustain it. Clearly, they don't think the business can sustain it, or they don't see the value in doing that while still maintaining their console business. So,
and the thing is,
Xbox is in a similar spot where they're like reevaluating, like, okay, we have, they're not going to abandon PC, but they're looking at what their PlayStation efforts are actually resulting in. And it's like, great. I love the fact that more people can play these games. But if the end result ends up being Xbox as a console being less meaningful and less like something that they're not as interested in doing, then okay, if that's the trade-off, if the trade-off ends up being Xbox not existing or Xbox going back to exclusives, I'll take the exclusives. So
Here's the thing.
that's kind of where I land.
I just watched a video by Patrick Willems on why streaming blockbusters suck, and he said something pretty meaningful. Customers don't know what they want. You have to give it to them. And you know what? It's great in theory that more people are playing games on more platforms, but most people who are playing games on mobile devices are not playing big AAA games streamed from the cloud.
Yeah, it's not going to be the market for them. Primary.
In part, this is because of the restrictive policies of Apple and Google, who are fucking monopolies. But on the other hand, those games really just are not suited for touchscreens, and getting extra controllers is an extra expense that most people don't think of, even with $1,000 iPhones or whatever. So that's not the move. On PC, Valve's just like, thank you very much, will be even more of a monopoly. So, really, unfortunately, there have to be several walled gardens to compete with each other in order to have competition, as counterintuitive as that sounds.
Because, I'd rather have the walled garden than the, decaying, decrepit garden,
The thing is, though, that if Microsoft had done this strategy earlier in the generation, PlayStation would be fucked. Because PlayStation sales of Microsoft games have been sustaining PS5. Well, there's been a first-party drought for Sony. So it was almost like Microsoft threw Sony a lifeline for money and then realized that, the trade-off of negative consumer perception among what is still more than 3/4 of their Game Pass subscribers, despite their efforts to expand to 1 billion gamers in, Africa. Which, great, but internet is not fast enough, and mobile devices are not powerful enough, and there's not enough gamers in most of the world to sustain that. And Microsoft is facing an uphill battle in most of the world because of Sony's illegal monopoly tactics in much of the world, such as permanently locking FIFA in forever after Microsoft abandoned that one bit because they were like, well, the people who are just buying the consoles for FIFA are not very valuable. They're just playing FIFA and that's it. That's probably why the game bundle is dying, because, well, if somebody's really enjoying that one game, then they're going to enjoy it for a while. If they're hooked into your subscription service because, well, they paid for expensive-ass hardware and don't want to spend a bunch of money on games, then maybe that's where Helix comes in. And again, Helix will get cheap games as well. What I wonder is, with Helix, when they're going to announce more details about how all of that will work. I doubt it'll be at the Xbox showcase, because they'll want to focus on the games, including, and most especially, E-Day.
Yeah.
But there's other games coming in the fall too, like Fable, that they're gonna want to showcase.
Exactly. Like if Playground ends up putting out Fable and Forza this year, like that's like, well, I guess depending on how good Fable is, like that could be like an all-time great year for a developer to put out two great games like that in span of potentially like 6 months.
Well, with the graphics being as good as they are for the first Forza Horizon game for current gen only, I have no doubt it'll be good on that front, at least. We'll see how the gameplay is and the story and all of that, but there's certainly a lot of passion for recapturing the magic of Fable. It's just that, again, they stupidly fired the old team, and so they may not be able to, despite their best efforts. But that does lead me to a point of sadness with this release, and it's not anybody's fault at Playground. It's the greedy money grubbers at the top of Microsoft who may restrain Asha from really doing pro-consumer moves. The fact that Turn 10 has been gutted because, well, Forza Horizon was originally pitched by a scrappy team that had never made a game as a team before from a bunch of AAA racing developers, no doubt, but that was unproven. And they pitched the Forza Motorsport team, then the crown jewel of Microsoft's first party, on an open world version of that.
Mhm.
And taking Forza Tech that way was unprecedented, so Turntime was skeptical, but they gave Playground a chance, and now they just exist on the side of support for
it's
Playground.
fascinating how like they basically just become subsumed into the Horizon factory.
Well, the big
from where they were.
problem was that after Forza Motorsport 7, which I thought was good actually, there just was some issues with progression again. They decided to rip out everything and start over with, and it took like 6 fucking years to rebuild the engine. And then Forza Motorsport, the reboot, was not very good.
Yeah, like I gave that game a solid 15 hours or so, and I didn't hate it or anything, but it was just kind of felt a little lifeless compared to even past Forza games, which I think sometimes could feel that way too. Like a little sterile, but it was just, I don't know. Yeah, I did play a bunch of that game, and I liked the core gameplay of racing still felt fine. It's just everything around it was not really good.
That's again some of the issue with the past Forza Horizon games after 3, because they tried to make Forza Horizon all things to all people, but we're doing it in a very haphazard way. Now, they've done that a couple of times and have pared that back a bit. But I think part of it, too, is that the map makes more sense. Like, again, 4 was so empty. It was basically just England, the field. And 5 was way too cramped. They were trying to cram all of Mexico into the map, which is ridiculous. You should have done a cross-section. But the problem is, a country like Mexico is so large and very geographically that how do you get all these things in one thing? And Japan is much more dense as a country because it's on a small island and because it's mountainous, which means that the cities have to be close to the sea. So it feels more like Forza Horizon 3 in terms of that vertical map going up and down the coast.
Yeah,
and then dense forest on the side.
Like a lot of the talk about like people wanting Forza in Japan started really happening after Horizon 3, because I think just beyond like people saying, oh, Japan's cool, we should do one in Japan, I think a lot of people were identifying like, oh, this would fit perfectly. So like on one hand, like it's kind of weird that they waited so long to do the Japan one, but I'm also kind of glad that they waited for the tech to get this advanced so that it looks this good and plays as well.
Another point to add on to that is that Forza Horizon 2 really set the template. Forza Horizon, I thought, was fine. It's not my favorite in this series, and that's in part because of the sprawling map of Colorado.
Yeah, it was a start, but like they hadn't really figured out where the core of the fun was, because if you go back and play Forza Horizon 1, you're pretty restricted to the roads for the most part. Like they didn't really figure out the open world aspect fully by that point of like smashing things and finding collectibles. Like there were the bonus boards and stuff, but it wasn't quite what it became.
But then what's blowing my mind is that this month, 11 years ago for my birthday, I was playing my first open world racing game on a console in Forza Horizon 2. Because that game set the template of what my expectations are for open world anything, not just racing games. And a lot of that has to do with, again, the shape of the map. The French and Italian Riviera really gives you a lot of coastal fun. The cities are right there. And then there is dense forest there in the hills along the Rhone. And so that's really cool. That really paced everything out nicely. Even Storm Island, which is more islandy, is one of the best expansions ever made. For a Forza Horizon game. My favorite is still Forza Horizon 3 Hot Wheels, just because of the novelty of that. and the dinosaur. I mean, it really appealed to the 5-year-old in me who just loved playing with that snake playset that ate my car that my mom got me when I was good at the dentist. And Forza Horizon 2 is seared into my memory because it is the game that got my parents to buy an Xbox One. Because I had just gotten my job, and they got me an Assassin's Creed Unity bundle, and now Black Flag is getting resynced, and there's a new Forza Horizon game. It's like, what year is it? Holy shit, this game, I think, really built on pent-up demand for this setting in
for
particular.
sure. Yeah.
Already, 1 million players, 1.2 million, I think, with $140 million.
Yeah, the number I saw for early access before the floodgates open, I think the final tally was like 1.4 million that I saw last night.
Oh, wow.
And that's just an educated guess because they're just going off of leaderboards from like an early game race. That's the only real way to know that metric.
Yeah, they do list the number of players in the leaderboards, but that is not an entirely accurate
The thing
metric.
is, Horizon 5 had a leaderboard, like an overall leaderboard, and that's how people got pretty accurate numbers there. There's nothing like that here, so people are just, choosing the thing that it seems like most players have done.
Yeah, I wonder why that is, but more to the point, that is a lot of players, and the floodgates are really going to open.
I mean, basically now, like, it's going to be unlocked for everyone in about an hour and a half, so...
Oh, right, yeah. Happy launch day, everybody, for everyone. I mean, the really insane thing is that the platform with the most accurate metrics from Steam Charts, which is a third-party site, but still, says that 178,000 players have played this game at peak. And this is on a platform in Steam where I think that the PC ports of Sony games suffered because Steam gamers are conditioned to wait for sales, and they were not going to buy $60 ports of games that were $20 on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Or got CD keys, which I think Sony was angry about because they didn't want that. They didn't want to have their lunch eaten by third-party sellers who bought them for cheap in other countries and then sold them worldwide. And Valve has not really cracked down on that kind of thing because people got upset in the mid-2010s over regional pricing on Steam, I believe. And then that was overturned, except for a few countries where the currency is really devalued, like Argentina, I believe. Off the top of my head, I don't really know. But
yeah, I know that's one of them.
Yeah, so the fact that people are buying this game in particular that many times on a platform where people wait for sales really says something about how excited people are for this game.
If you factor in the people buying it on Steam specifically are buying the $120 edition. Crazy.
Right, because they can't do Game Pass.
Yeah, I'm just buying the $60 edition, which is still a decent chunk of change, but those 180,000 concurrents on Steam times however many people have actually bought it on Steam, that's a lot.
Oh yeah, I'm perfectly happy to have the Microsoft Store version because, again, on my GMK Tech Nuckbox K12 with 32 gigabytes of DDR5 SODIMM RAM, which is basically integrated memory but ripped out and put on a stick, and so is a lot less powerful. It is running very smoothly at 45 FPS on 1080p low graphics, and it still looks pretty good. The shadows are a little blocky, the lighting's a little flat, but that's compared to the quality version that people are sharing photographs of all over the internet. So, I am fine with the performance trade-off. I'm sure there's also a scaling option I haven't found, but I don't want it to look too blurry.
I did try quality mode out for a solid hour or so. It was, you definitely noticed, mostly, the thing that I noticed, and then I watched the Digital Foundry video, which I also pointed out, is that the reflections look way better on quality mode. That was the main thing that stood out. The reflections and the lighting are the main differences that I saw.
I skipped to the performance section to confirm that the Series S performance mode works well, because that'll be fun to play on my friend Billy's Series S.
I believe that still runs, pretty locked 60 just at dynamic resolution targeting 1080 everything. So
It's been
Xbox
so long.
first party should be putting out good Series S versions, I hope.
Yeah, definitely. For some reason, I had stupidly forgotten that there was performance mode in the past on these things, because I hadn't really played Forza Horizon on the Series S, and so thought it was only 30 FPS, but I'm really pleased to see that it holds pretty well at 60 FPS.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first one to have a performance mode was 4? Maybe, did 3 patch one in?
Yeah, 3 patched one in for the Xbox One X.
But no, I think 3 only patched in, like, I don't know if there was a performance mode. I think it was just literally 4K, like, they basically patched it in what you would call a quality mode. I don't know if there was a performance mode patched in.
Let me check.
I don't recall playing that game in 60.
Forza Horizon 3. I mean, sadly, there was not one for Forza Horizon 2, because as much as I love going through that game and cleaning up the little things that I didn't do, it being stuck at 30 FPS is a downgrade. It's still a very solid one. Okay, let's see.
Forza Horizon. I recall, because when they did the 1X patches, a lot of them weren't so much about performance modes. A lot of them were just like
4K,
because they were very focused on 4K at the time.
Yeah, and the reason is that they still went with the weak-ass Jaguar CPU, just a slightly stronger version of it. Yeah. The real increase was in the RAM, I believe, to a degree. It wasn't so much more different that it was a generational leap, but it was enough that they could do at least reconstructed 4K in a lot of third-party games. And 4K in the few first-party game, in the one first-party game that was available at launch. Super Lucky's Tale. And then there was a bunch of Xbox One X patches.
There was also Forza 7. That was also a launch.
Oh yeah, that was the launch game. And then shortly after that was Cuphead, but that wasn't obviously enhanced for anything. And now it blows my mind.
Cuphead was before that. Cuphead was early 2017.
No, it was fall, but maybe just not. Maybe just a little bit earlier. I'd have to double check.
It was before the One X. Yeah.
It was just before the One X, but yeah. No, I had been really looking forward to Crackdown 3, and then they delayed that to 2018 and said it would be on Game Pass as part of the first tranche of first-party games there. Still was a fun launch because I was blown away by the 4K, as I had connected my original Xbox One to a 4K TV and noticed the upscaling artifacts from the TV, which upscaling by a TV is always going to suck compared to upscaling by hardware, whether it's a Blu-ray player or a game console or what have you. Let's start the day trip. Just we get carried away on this show sometimes. Co-op?
Yeah, I assume it's just going to pull me in once you start it. There we go. Join. There we go.
Cool, cool, cool.
By the way, I'm just going to turn my AC on. If it starts getting obnoxiously loud, I can shut it off.
Oh,
it's just getting a bit stuffy
I'm so
in here.
Sweaty, too. I get it. This is like feeling like the end of the world weather is upon us. I'm not looking forward to DC in August.
Yeah, thankfully for us, the heat's going to break after Wednesday. I think it's going to get back down to the 70s.
Yeah, which is good because the reason why I'm not free on Thursday is because I'm seeing my sister in the city for dinner. We had her up. They closed on their house. It's very nice. And good things are on the way. That's all I'll say about that. But we had amazing Italian seafood in town, and that was so cool.
Please stay together. I'd like you to see what I see, but I don't want to lose anyone.
Oh, that's cool. Even, I guess these are drivatars, not other players. Unless...
No, I think these are just like...
Yeah, I think they're just drivatars. Or I guess they are just people.
I think they're like people, some of which are like people from the story.
As we enjoy the day trip, I want you to feel strong. So that's why I selected this convoy of 4x4 vehicles.
I could easily see myself making a dedicated History Flights tours video of these day trips. Because I had been thinking about doing something similar after playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Origins again. For the historical modes. The So I am really looking forward to that possibility. Why is my car so slow? Oh God.
Amongst our car selection today,
I don't know if there's a
Mitsubishi
penalty
Lancer.
for not keeping
Or
up
if you're
or
from the
anything.
UK, well, funnily enough,
Well,
it's called the Mitsubishi Shogun.
bad luck, I
Maybe
guess.
more aptitude for driving around the prefecture's
Or
Japan,
Godzilla
but
emerges
whatever you
and
call
steps
it,
on you.
This SUV has stood the test of time.
That would be an
First
interesting
station
race
is
in a
all about the
DLC
more
expansion.
serene, green,
I don't think they'll
slower-paced
do that
ride.
because that would
We
just
have one of
open
the
up a
world's
huge can of
fastest
worms,
cities. And with the arrival of the
IP-wise.
Horizon
Just like
Festival,
they're saying,
it's faster
oh,
than
we
ever.
can't
Taking your surroundings,
possibly mention
bring
that
the
one
fun
monster
into the
collecting game from
fast-paced city
Japan.
life.
Yeah,
Even
I
though
saw that.
One thing
Yeah.
on this day trip
I have
is to
no
appreciate
such
stuff.
restrictions
Slow down once in a
legally,
while.
so I compare the mascot collecting
I-
Pokemon. It feels as addictive.
Yeah.
At least in terms of, like, cuteness. Anyway,
I think
because
the
I'm
clip you
slowly
showed
getting
me
back
was
into
specifically
Pokemon.
talking about the taking pictures. There was a clip going around. Maybe it was a different one. About like
Oh.
specifically the Pokemon Snap style.
Oh, wow,
Like the
okay.
Horizon, the whatever it's called.
I did not
By
know
the
that.
way,
I don't think I've
it-
unlocked it yet.
Yeah, when you do unlock it, because it's the same as it worked in 4 and 5. The thing that I forgot at first, I don't know if the game tells you, is there is a way to do a quick picture if you go into photo mode without having to like save the picture and stuff. If you just hit right bumper. So
Oh,
I learned that after several hours. I remembered. I was like, oh yeah, there's a quicker way to do this.
well, that's
So
cool.
whenever you start doing that stuff, definitely remember that because it helps. It'll save you a good like 10-15 seconds per picture.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I don't like saving pictures like that, so I've mainly taken clips
Yeah,
and
so
screenshots and stuff.
it'll let you register the cars without like
Japan
the
has
whole
many
rigmarole of
ancient
saving the
Be
picture
sure
and
to
stuff.
learn about the customs and rules before you visit. These are
Oh, I've
places
not
of
changed my car horn. I
spirituality,
should probably
of
do that because
peace,
I've actually
quiet,
unlocked some of the good
and
ones now.
contemplation.
Okay.
Every shrine
Well, I'm
has
definitely
its
coming
own
back
history.
here with a better car
Some
to
even have a
actually
tribe that
do
provides
well in the race
No,
protection
I
and
think
to
you have a
not talk
preset
over the
car for
tour.
this.
different areas
You have a
of life,
preset car.
such as
What?
health, success, prosperity,
I think we both. Are you in a
and the fun of life has
Mitsubishi
been
Montero?
renewing them every year.
Yeah,
did
so
you
I
get a
think the
different
reason
set?
why I'm not
Okay.
keeping up is just
It seems to
because
work.
of
Okay,
my
so
crash
last
then.
corner coming up. And heading onto
Oh
the
yeah, if you
voyage
crash, yeah,
where-
that would explain it.
Let me
Ugh.
see.
Okay, so now once you get to where I'm
Yes,
at,
it's here.
we do a little race. I'm just in a waiting for players thing.
We do a little racing.
Yep. My AC's not picking up too much, is it?
No, I don't hear it at all.
Okay.
I lay down a
Good.
challenge, a race.
And I have zero
Simple
AC,
race,
so
no twists or
I'm
gotchas.
just having to hope that the
Alright,
fan is enough,
Just so you
even
know,
though I'm sweating like a pig here.
Yeah, I try to minimize my AC use, but nights like this, I need it a little bit, especially if I have my Xbox running. 'Cause I have a small room that gets very hot very quickly if I have my Xbox on.
Well, the problem is that AC usage is very demanding on electricity and electric grids that are very oh no, I missed the checkpoint because somebody bumped me. Fuck you. That's okay. But I did it. I don't understand. Why are you still... I went back through the gate. What are you doing? Anyway. There's also
Well,
a
as
slight
long
bit
as
of
one of
input
us
latency caused by recording through the Shadowcast,
Oh.
too.
Yeah, that
Through
might-
all games. It's
Yeah.
unavoidable. But, well, local recording options on my PC, I think Game Bar is the best, actually. Because I've recorded the gameplay for, the PC benchmark. Well, I recorded my voice separately, and then I had to do that again because I didn't use the game bar properly, but when I did, it was very lightweight. Unfortunately, I have been playing other PC games, and the clips of a bumpy ride on Steam are not going to be very representative unless I do it over again with the game bar, because Steam recording kind of stinks on anything but the Steam Deck. It is very heavy on performance when you're actually playing. and sometimes it shows up in the video and sometimes it doesn't. Like, it didn't for
Finish line is close.
Lunaabyss,
Winner gets a free danger
which
pass.
is a Doom-like horror shooter with a little bit of Destiny vibes inside of an underground society in the moon.
Mhm.
It felt like sludge when I actually played it until I turned off windowed mode, which may have been the problem, but also the recording may have caused some issues at times. Oh, darn it, it just ended
Thank
it
you,
for me.
everyone, for being such
Okay,
That's
well,
alright.
You've
if
been
it
wonderful
works like the
guests
other
and
games,
racers.
Oh, there's more
I think-
chapters, yeah.
And anytime.
yeah,
Have a
there's
safe journey home, all,
there's
and I'll see you on
some of
another
the day
nice and
trips. I've
chill
only
day
done a couple, but some of them might have multiple chapters. I'm not sure if this one does. Did you get 3 stars or did only I get
3
it? 'Cause
stars.
The other games, okay, cool.
I think
So
you carried
I
me.
helped you out there.
Yeah, thanks.
Because the other games work that way, where as long as one of us finishes or gets a good rating, you get it too.
Okay, Annie, what's
Well-
next?
Thanks. Okay, so wristband event. Oh, that reminds me of the other thing that's annoying. It was so clunky to figure out how to change my character's name.
Okay, Annie, I have set your
Eventually,
route
I
to the
found
nearest
out that
Horizon Rush event.
I had to go to the festival for that, but also there's a
Yeah,
thing for the settings that you can do that. I just couldn't find it for some reason.
what, changing your name?
Yeah, my player name, because I accidentally set it as my real name, and I don't
Oh.
want to dox myself.
But
I was
not-
able to change it to
see-
Annie.
Oh, you were able to change it. Okay.
It just was kind of clunky because I had to go
Yeah,
back to
you
the
have-
festival site.
You can go to the festival site. I think you can do it from one of your houses too.
Yeah, that's just really...
That's the one thing I
specific.
wish. With as much freedom as these games have, the one thing I wish was that there were like. I wish it wasn't so tied to traveling to the festival sites to do certain things. Like, for example, I love changing out my card, my decals and stuff, like finding new designs. And it's like, why do I have to be at a festival site to do that? I can you can change your tuning and stuff from anywhere, but God forbid you want to change the stickers on your car.
Or teleport in a new car,
Yeah,
it seems.
I don't understand. Yeah, like that. Yeah, I just wish it was a little more freeform with that specifically. Like, if you're gonna let me do all this other stuff from anywhere, why still have this festival hub concept that you're tethering me to?
The character creation is also kind of meh, at least so far.
Yeah, I kind of just do that. Like, that's good enough. Whatever. I'm never gonna see this character besides the victory stream.
Yeah, because I think it was for 5 that they had loyalty shirts, and
Yeah,
I
those look
loved
hideous.
wearing Forza Horizon 2. But then they're
Okay,
like,
well,
oh, here's specific cars for loyalty, and it felt like a bittersweet pill to accept a free car for playing Forza Motorsport.
Yeah.
When again, the team that got laid off doesn't have fucking jobs anymore. And, well, I mean, I hope they landed on their feet somewhere else, but, they don't have jobs with Turn 10 anymore. That is just that experience is just gone. So if they wanted to do a realistic Forza Motorsport again, they'd have to rebuild it from scratch. It'd be another 6 fucking years, and it's like, God,
Yeah,
why
I don't see
do you
them
do these
returning to
impulsive
motorsport.
fucking moves, you stupid ass capitalists?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel a little bit conflicted because, on the one hand, I gave in to creator pressure again to, be first, to be in that window, and the video is doing numbers for our channel size and all of that. And I've been in discussions with another podcaster. Let me see what the name is so I don't butcher it. D-Rec Gaming. D-I-RR, capital RRs, EC Gaming. They do about 2.5-hour podcasts with 3 people, and one of them saw the video, liked it, and said, hey, would you want to come on and talk all things podcast, all things Xbox with us? And I said, absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
And
cool.
he's like, I'll give your channel a shout out too. So, SunnyRedemption Sailing's going big. This
Nice.
channel has 1,500 subscribers, so big is a relative term. But I just crossed 246 subscribers. This journey would not have been possible without you. So again, thank you for all of that. but it'll be nice to be on a podcast where I'm not the one doing the editing. Not that it's a criticism of you. I know that's not your job, and your job is far more important than that. But again, it'll be nice to have people in my corner who are like, oh, this stuff is cool. You have 59 episodes of this, which have scrappily improved over time with a one-person channel.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyway, point being that I guess I do feel that small creator pressure to be out there and in the conversation, which I was, but that meant I did end up having to give money to Microsoft, even though I'm angry about the layoffs. Does that make me a hypocrite? I don't think so, because sometimes you need to use the master's tools to criticize the master, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's not like, oh, there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, therefore I can do whatever I want. It's also not, there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, therefore I'm going to live like a hermit in the mountain. I could not do that.
It's like, for me, it's always about picking your battles. It's like, I'm not going to, like, criticize whoever you want to put your money, that's fine. I'm not going to criticize you. I'm just going to make my own choices. You know, because, like you just said, you know, if we reach the logical end stage of that criticism, we're all just going to be Pet Kavinsky in a cabin in the woods. So it's like,
which there are societies that do that. The northsentinelese people, for example, are in the Stone Age, and they're perfectly fine with that. There have been some annoying contacts by people who are stupid, like that one Christian missionary guy, because Christian missionaries are always fucking obnoxious. And religion needs to be reined in. But anyway, so he got murdered for that, rightfully so, because he trespassed on their land. You know, doesn't feel good either to have the White House promote Christianity on the fucking National Mall, but nobody fucking showed up for that, it feels like. So, anyway, point being, they're mostly in the Stone Age, except for one shipwreck. And they know how to cold work iron now into the shapes that they want for tools such as weapons and utensils and things. And you know, it's like, that's cool if you can do that, if you can swing that. But people who live like that, uncontacted tribes, are very rare because our world was an expansionist, imperialist one at an industrial scale not seen in human history for nearly 150 years. And that was on top of 300 years of imperialism before that. So, like, there's a lot of things that are irreversible, unfortunately. But, you know, I don't think it's hypocritical for me to use my expensive-ass console to criticize Microsoft, because that's what free speech should be about. It should be about criticizing people even when you love them. Or at least like them. And I like Xbox. I have most of my games on there, so I kind of feel a little trapped there, too, by my library. But, you know, I've stuck with Xbox through thin and thin, and this feels like an up year for them. Even if it's only in tiny things, like price cuts for Game Pass, and tone, and all caps Xbox? What does this mean? Are they going back to the old Xbox logo? I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, that's just one of those things. Like, I don't personally care either way. I guess maybe the if I were a writer or an editor, I would care more about, like, oh well, I guess we gotta either update our style guide or ignore it. It's I think what they're going for is just a back to the roots type of branding, because when Xbox was fairly new and they were emphasizing, up until the 360 came out, I think their style was always capitalized Xbox. And then with the 360, they went a lot more, like, you know, minimalist. And with that came just the regular, you know, non-fully capitalized Xbox. And that's how people have been writing it since in the ensuing 20 years. And now I think they ran that dumb Twitter poll, and now they're just like, okay, well, I guess we're just gonna We're
Call it
just gonna
Xbox,
run
all caps.
we're just gonna run the company by Twitter polls, I guess, which is like not my favorite move, but like I don't really care either enough to like be annoyed at it.
I think
It's
that's
like,
a slight
okay,
exaggeration.
as long as this doesn't materially change anything, so whatever.
Well, the reason why I
going
think
on.
this is a slight exaggeration is because while you're not wrong, I think you're being a little pedantic. The thing is that the core audience does live very much online. I'm very much online on Reddit. That's where a lot of people are who are critical of things like that. And you know what? If it's a matter of appeasing the Twitter chuds a little bit or not getting their business, then these kinds of little details are important,
it's like
actually.
it's a move for the base, but it doesn't, like, I don't see, like, it doesn't, I don't, unless this is some, I'm not reading too much into it. I just like, okay,
No,
they
it's not like
decided to
Xbox is
change-
saved or anything.
Yeah, they decided to run a Twitter poll, and based on that, it seems, because I think it was like a 70-30 split, they said, okay, well, I guess people want us to change the branding, and they did a quick turnaround. Maybe they were already going to do it, and they just wanted confirmation that it was the right idea. And so, because the turnaround seemed pretty fast on that. And, you know,
Well, these quick wins are
startup
important
screen.
at the start
Yeah,
of a
so
new administration.
They're just doing a lot of small things here and there. I don't think they're going to make any, like, I don't see any huge moves. Like, I don't think this is indicative of like any huge moves they're going to make. I don't see how you can really read the tea leaves on this and extrapolate anything.
Yeah, no, it's rather
that they're actually going to do.
Asha's ascendancy right now is rather of a piece with a political administration, because every human interaction in a society is political to some degree. And I would compare it to the start of a presidential administration, where, you know, the guy just got elected, he's got a bunch of momentum from that and political capital, and now he's signing like 100 executive orders that, will they do all that much in the long run? Probably not, but it's at least showing that he is considering the campaign promises. Like,
Yeah,
all the stupid shit about the birthright citizenship was going to be blocked in court, but it's red meat for the base for Trump.
Yeah, and
At the time it was.
And
anyway.
as far as like getting back to Xbox stuff, like
Yeah.
stuff that could actually lead to some material change, or at least show what people are interested in, is like, I don't know if you saw, they launched that new like player voice thing where you can see
Oh,
like
yeah.
what people are requesting the most. I just saw that when I
For
got
backwards
home.
compatibility, right?
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, clearly the fans are.
That's a
yeah, so I
restoration
think
of something from the past, though, I think.
it is, but it's in a new form, and it's much
A
more
third-party
visible.
website, too, I think.
Yeah,
Kind of
but-
like how
but-
True Achievements is with Achievements. Like, very partnered, but still
No,
third-party.
No, this is a new thing. I think
Oh.
they just launched it today. It's like, it's not third
Today?
party. It's I saw there was
did
an
not
Xbox
know.
Wire post that I saw about it today.
Oh,
I don't know if
Xbox
it's-
Wire,
if
huh?
I just yeah.
Oh, well,
And
okay,
it was
let me
like
check that out
Xbox
for a
player
second.
voice or something like that. And so they're basically like,
Okay,
looking
yeah,
for
that was
feedback
today.
on which areas Xbox should be focusing on. And it was very heartening for me to see that backwards compatibility at the time I looked at it was like number 2.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
like, I hope that's sort of a bellwether for like what, like, if they are going to listen to the masses in this way, I think this is a better way to at least do it than a Twitter poll.
And then number
And,
3
like-
is make online multiplayer free.
Yes. Yep.
So that makes
I
it
think
more
the
likely
top
than
3
not.
The top 3 were exclusive back compatibility, at least when I was looking at it.
Yes,
And
same.
yeah.
I'm
and,
looking at it now.
Yeah.
See, this is the kind of news you miss when you're in video editor land. But, well, I think,
So
let's do some peer pressure.
yeah,
While we
so
talk.
so that stuff. Oh, the
Horizon.
Horizon. Oh, this
Next
one's fun.
wristband is waiting
This
at
is
the end
one
of
of
it.
the big events.
Extreme Drive, yeah. Well, Game Pass Family Plan, they were talking about that for a while.
Yeah, they did like a survey or test pilot of that a long time ago. So I wonder if, I hope something comes of that too.
There's gonna be a rethinking, obviously, because there's rethinking with the prices, with the Trident and stuff.
Now
Yeah.
it's Game Pass through Discord, because they just announced a partnership where if you get Discord Nitro, you basically get a selection of Game Pass games. And that
Yeah.
seems fine to me, honestly, because Discord can throw Xbox a couple bucks. People can get a few games that are old, and it's not a separate tier to confuse people with. It's just a promotion, essentially, that bolsters a different subscription that I don't use anymore, because I don't use gigantic file uploads to Discord, because they have destroyed the ability for you to share images externally after 24 hours that are linked to Discord. You have to do it their way, which is basically just keep the images internal. I think they were frustrated about being basically turned into Imager for free, and they didn't like that, so they just decided to shitify the experience, and that's why I don't use Discord so much anymore, because that was really annoying for setting up writing servers, you know, like having character claims and stuff like that. Who is next to me? Is that you?
Yeah, this is a little weird in multiplayer because this is normally just a solo time trial kind of thing.
But we're being competitive now.
The only downside to doing it in multiplayer is you miss the cool like slow-mo moments. There's like cool like slow-mo bits.
Yeah, you're probably gonna have to carry me on the time.
You're keeping up with me till I guess a few seconds ago.
Yeah, well, still every second matters. Anyway, like, so there's that, and allowing disk-based games with Project Helix. Thank you for making that number 5, people.
Yeah, I hope they do take that stuff seriously. That's like stuff, you know, stuff there could be substantive, you know, like substantive action could be taken on that stuff. So I hope that's something they wouldn't launch this and make a big deal of making an Xbox Wire post for me.
If they weren't serious about hearing the feedback, at least.
Yeah.
Whether they'll action that is different, but that's something to determine later.
And they've already made some vague statements about things. Some of the top stuff they're like, especially backwards compatibility. Like, so
yeah.
I think launching a website like this, I think they probably know in advance, like, okay, backwards compatibility is going to be one of the top things, and that's something we already know we're taking action on. So it's like, okay, we can look like we're listening, and you know, get like a 1-2 punch of like something people are already looking forward to, something we know we're doing, but now it looks like we're taking action on feedback. So I think that could be part of it if you want to get a little bit like marketing.
Cynical, yeah. I mean,
the marketing reasons for it, because
everything is marketing now.
Yeah,
everything, like every social interaction, every online, every piece of media, etc., is all about brand now. Every individual is a brand now, including me, to a degree. So does that feel cynical? Well, I think that my brand stands for something. Truth, justice, and historical accuracy across 3 fucking podcasts I run by myself. So, you know, that's at least trying to do that. But marketing is life, unfortunately. And so, you know, there's always going to be that cynical undercurrent to a degree. But the last serious suggestion that's there is Xboxavatars. I don't know what they'll really do with that. But back to, like, basics with avatars could work. It's just that, like, they've done this like twice now.
They did the refresh in 2015 or so, and, like, that kind of just came and went. Like, I didn't mind it, but it's not something I really need them devoting any resources to.
If there's not games for it, then people are not really going to stick with it.
Yeah, if they want to make a big push and, like, do this whole big thing with games, like avatar-based games, I guess.
Like 1 versus 100?
Yeah. Well,
that'd be cool.
I mean,
to get a reboot.
They seemingly had that reboot of it that got canned a few years ago. So they did try and just didn't work out.
And with the technology being what it is now, that could be done a lot better. But yeah, back to the disc console suggestion for a
bit. Oh my god, I'm practically just bouncing off the walls, and that's it with this
That's
event.
right.
So thank you
I
for
didn't
hard
get
carrying
a,
me.
I didn't quite beat the par time, but I
Ugh.
almost beat it.
I'm gonna tackle this again when I don't have input latency and I'm more familiar with this car, because holy shit, even the lightest press of the e-brake is causing me to spin out sometimes, or just not really do anything. So, yeah, there's definitely a problem with that, with certain races, and so probably most of tonight will just be, driving around and talking video games. I think that this will be a good game to do that with for a few weeks for us.
Yeah.
But then Sea of Thieves just, I think that the responsiveness problem is very much mitigated by the fact that Sea of Thieves is 120 FPS, so there's like a lot more frame time budget. You know, of whole 8 milliseconds for things to delay can still feel very 60 FPS. And this still feels very good. It still feels 60 FPS. It still feels responsive. At least I finished the race second out of 2, so, you know, take that victory lap. But there was a handicap there, so I want to challenge you again when we're on an off weekend on some of these things. But the disc-based Project Helix games. Okay, so people will still be angry, I think. The hardcore who still buys disc games and would not buy Helix because of it, you know, for all that money, if it is a half-assed disc system with an online check-in again. Technically, that is where everything is going, but that should just be the market decides. You know, it sucks, but a lot of game companies have moved to that for some reason, and unless the government steps in, they are not, or people pressure them with stop killing games, they are not incentivized in the slightest to not have online check-ins. Inside the game, though. I also don't think that an external disk drive would be wise. Even if it brings down the price of Xbox Helix, because it probably won't be by more than a few dollars, honestly. Because it costs $33 to put in the Blu-ray drive for the Xbox
What takes your fancy?
One. And similarly for the Blu-ray drive of the Xbox Series X. Ooh, a danger sign. Let's do that. I think, yeah. Set group root. Cool. So I think that they may be waiting to announce that until PlayStation does. Like if PlayStation makes a move on no included disk drive, then maybe they strike with that. Or they're waiting to make a move on online multiplayer until Sony does, because yeah, that's free money from Microsoft, but it's also a competitive advantage, because then they can be like, well, you know, it's just seamless. You can just play with your friends. And that lowers the barrier to entry, in theory. I mean, it depends on the hardware price, obviously. But who knows what $1,000 will actually be with inflation in 2028, 9, even 30.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe that will calm down a bit. I mean, that's very speculative, obviously. And I do not expect any Project Helix teases. Just in uneducated guessing. I'm not an insider or anything until the Game Awards.
Yeah, I think they'll keep talking like vaguely about things. Like I think they'll at least give it a mention in the summer showcase, like saying, hey, we have all these games here today, and we also will have a very exciting new thing in the future at an undetermined time.
Yeah, and you know what? I need to rewatch the Digital Foundry review, because there was a part that was intriguing, but I did not get around to, where John Linneman said this could presage Xbox Helix ports.
The Forza video, yeah, I remember that part. Yeah,
I had been hoping that there would be an ultra performance mode for 120 FPS, but that probably is hard to do in an open world game. However, with a few years of advancement and a generational leap, maybe they have the CPU to really make that happen. Just like massive games at the smoothest frame rates, will that bring a bunch of advantages to in that regard to all games? No, because no matter how hard you try to set a performance target, quote unquote, game developers will do what they want. So there will be those game developers who are like, actually, we would like to do upscaled 8K at 30 FPS. You know, and there's nothing you can do about that. So there will be very few games that are 120 FPS.
I think, like, as far as, like, performance goes, I think even I was saying this around the time of the Series X PS5 launch, that there would be a lot of games, like, we'd go back to 30 FPS for some games. That hasn't happened in a large way. I think developers have just gotten used to shipping with performance modes.
That's true.
For the most part. There are exceptions. There are some games that have launched at 30 FPS on consoles, but those have tended to be the exception rather than the rule, like
good point.
Previous generations. So I think we might just be at a point where developers are naturally just speccing things to include a performance mode.
Yeah, we're not in the bad old days of Ratchet and Clank saying that 60 FPS doesn't benefit them at all.
Yeah, and like for me personally, I'm not like a huge, like, of course I generally prefer playing at a higher frame rate, but it's not like a make or break for me. But even so, like, it's nice to have the option. And I think I've been kind of surprised this generation that by and large, like 90+% of games that I've been playing have had at least an option.
Yeah, I mean,
at least for 30 versus 60. 120 is a different can of worms, but like, you know, at least most games are running above 30 these days on a console.
Yeah, since you're newer to 120 hertz gaming, I wonder what your thought is on that in general.
Yeah, I mean, I played plenty of, you know, like my friend had the G-Sync monitor, and I played like Overwatch or whatever at 144 and stuff like that. So I'm not new to the concept of playing games at higher frame rates, but you know, it's
like for this much.
I don't
time,
really,
I guess.
Like, I notice it, like, especially, like, I've been playing a lot of Overwatch at 120 the past couple months, and, like, I notice the frame rate, but when I switch it back to 60, it's not like, oh my god, I can't deal with this anymore. I don't think I'm ever going to be that guy where I can't play anything at below. I'm never going to be the person who can't play below 120, because, like, I sometimes, when I do feel like I'm getting to the point where a frame rate's annoying me, I just tend to think back to the fact that I used, like, a lot of those N64 games I used to play, PS1 games. I played a lot of games in my childhood at sub 20 FPS.
Newer generation gamers are spoiled.
It's like, I'm not coming at it from that angle. I'm just saying for my, I put things for myself into perspective. Like, if a game's running at 30, yeah, I wish it was at 60, but whatever. If it's a stable 30, I'll put up with it.
For most of my gaming career, I was lucky if a game ran on my computer at all, and now I have the option for above 40 FPS on most games that I own. That's, or can download through gamepass. That's pretty, for the cost of what the Series X was at launch, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That probably would have been $350 back then because of inflation and all that. I personally don't care as long as the frame rate is consistent, which it often wasn't a lot of the time, which was the stemming of a lot of complaints back then that were valid.
That's frame rate consistency is a much bigger deal to me than the number there. Like, if you're hitting a lock 30, great. If you're trying to hit 60 but failing most of the time, that's when it's a problem.
Well,
that's when I'm like, okay, well, I'd rather you just gave me a lock 30 at that point.
Okay, how did you get
fluctuating?
How did you get 922 feet on this jump?
I have a Civic. I'm driving a Civic with, like, it's A-class, but it's got, like, super good acceleration and speed. So
I have an A-class Alfa Romeo, so...
So what are you driving? What's it tuned for?
I mean, actually, no, I can teleport cars in.
If An Alfa Romeo is probably going to be more of a road car, and I know that danger sign is coming from a dirt path. You're
So
probably
how
going to want
about
something
a
that can off-road
Nomad
better.
then?
Oh yeah, Nomad will do it. Yeah, depending on what you like.
Okay, there is
I don't
still
know what
car
your tuning
delivery.
is
That's
like for
nice.
it, but yeah,
I
there
just
is-
was a
yeah.
doofus and didn't find it
But
before.
the thing is, if you want to start changing the decals, that's when you start having to travel to the
Yeah,
the
okay,
festival
that's
site.
that kind of
Yeah.
melded with my frustration about not finding that menu in my mind. But
Yeah. So
Um,
so as far as that danger sign, yeah, if your nomads at least got good acceleration and speed, should be okay. Because with danger signs, you don't have to worry about cornering or braking. So you'll
it's just
want
about
cars
finding
that
the
are
straightest path to the thing, and I
Yeah,
think I
so
found
just-
it for the most part. But
just gun it from like half a mile away, and you should be good as long as you've got good acceleration.
yeah, so like, okay, the other thing is that I'm definitely not an obnoxious ball and gun gamer, is what people have been saying to defend things like mixtape, where people are like, this isn't really a game, it's just a playable movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know
I
what?
think people saying that like it's just like, have you like, I don't know. I think a lot of people could stand to either stick to the genres they like if they feel that way, or branch out. That's what I would have to say about that. Is like, these types of games have been around for decades. It's cool if you just don't know about them, but you don't have to start making crazy statements about them, because it's one that has garnered a lot of traction and discourse happens to be something you don't like.
I mean, all it really is that there's certain types of gamers that look down on others. Like, there's always been people who have said, oh, this is a, quote, girl game. And then an adventure game starring a girl changed the world. It was called Lifeisstrange.
Mm-hmm.
It showed you didn't have to have, shooty McAction in order to have a good story. Things like Bioshock bridged the gap between those, but at the end of the day, you're still interacting with the world almost exclusively through guns and violence, which limits the storytelling possibilities to some degree. Because you're either doing that or waiting around for people to exposit at you in a lot of shooting games. Shooting games that try to do other things sometimes, like RTS stuff, can happen, like Section 8, but are not typically very strong examples of either. Like with what happened with Black Ops 2, where the shooting parts were really good, but then the RTS missions, I was like, okay, I'm not perfect at that. As long as I did enough to get the good ending, that's fine. I am currently in a Hyundai, going at 120, okay. Come on, stay. Don't crash into trees. Stay at 127. Please, yes!
Oh, ouch. I've had that
What?
happen a few times, and
How did I
probably
fail?
offered a few more. Dust
Exactly.
yourself off, head back
Oh,
up,
are you
give
still
it
doing the
another
danger
shot.
sign?
Yeah. We can do something else if you'd like.
Sometimes
But-
if you, well, I'm just kind of driving around still.
Okay.
I mean, the danger signs, like if you land awkwardly, sometimes it just decides you didn't do it right.
Oh, for crying out loud. Let's do the next barn find, actually.
Sure.
I've just... This time, don't tell me. I'll try and find it.
Okay.
Well,
maybe
and then
you'll
I'll
find
let
it
you know
before
when I
me,
give up.
unless it's one I've already done. I've done like 3 of them before, I think.
Well, I think
Let's see.
this
I found
is the
this one already.
4th that I've done.
Okay.
I'd have to double check, actually. Now that the menu isn't a pain in the ass. Well, okay, so there's 3 unlocked and 1 owned now that it's finished. So this will be the 4th. So we'll be even Stevens on those barn finds shortly. Yeah, 100% of those 2. That was incredible. And again, now paced out much better. Again, it's nice that there's a Forza Horizon activity for everyone. My least favorite are the drag races. But it's not to say that that's a bad event, it's just personal preference. Like, people need to learn the concept of personal fucking preference. Like, instead of, I am tastemaker for everybody, therefore I get to shit on you. I think a lot of it has to do with anonymity, that
people can treat each other like garbage. You know, I've experienced that for the past 5 fucking months with Wahid is all. He just said that based on one casual remark I said to someone about my sister marrying a Jewish man with a ketubah and everything, that, oh, she must be Jewish, therefore you must be too. Because of his continued obsession with somehow proving that I'm secretly part of a Zionist conspiracy against him personally, with Mossad agent ties and stuff. So, I've reported him to Substack with 15 links. And that's not even the half of it. Meanwhile, his crooked tooth and even crookeder personality friend Matt Douglas has questioned the existence of my family in Africa when I have done enough, I think, by talking about them to show that, yeah, you know, disbelieve me if you want, it would be incredibly unlikely for all of those details to be made up unless there was a Hollywood production behind all of it. In his mind, the other option is, they're hosing me for money. Because, and he's like, well, I'm not being racist about it. Complimenting them because they're taking Whitey for his money. Because, of course, he has to be transphobic. And, of course, despite being a white man himself in Thailand, who made creepy-ass comments on a teenage trans person's body that I will foot over. He thinks he's the paragon of virtue because he can speak Thai and lives in a foreign country. And that he's the Mr. Multicultural Matt and can lecture me. Well, you know what? Grow the fuck up, dude. You need to stop thinking that personal insults that are not supported by evidence, because I have called he is all a sociopath, because he's acting like a sociopath for, you know, vexatious litigation and all that, which is still ongoing, and he's threatening to do it again. So yeah, I've had enough, especially because he brought my sister into it. I am nuking him from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. And once the CCB stuff is done, I will sue him for an injunction to get all his posts taken down, including the ones that have my name on it, and have my face on a penis, and have my face on an IDF soldier, and all the other things. Let me see what other news I haven't really checked out. Oh, I know. Thank you for metaleden.
Oh yeah,
That's the only other game I've really had time for on Xbox. It really does live up to the, if Doom Eternal and Titanfall started a band and Ghost Runner was the lead singer.
site active.
It's not like the biggest example of each of those, but like you rip out people's cores and eat them to gain health and then do super punches. That feels very Doom to me. You can... Oh, that's intriguing porta potty thing. That might indicate a barn of some sort. I'm following you now. So, you know, if I... Maybe we can tag team this together.
I'm just in a skill song, so I'm like on a 500,000 point combo.
So you're destroying
up
all
some
of
trees.
Japan's natural beauty.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's that, and then the fact that there's just so much mobility. With there's hovering by holding B. There's grappling. There's 3 weapons so far, and it seems like there's room for many, many more on the wheel. Well, they're being paced out every mission or 2, which is pretty nice. I just got the shotgun, and it feels really solid, even if the sound could be a little bit bassier. I don't know. It's tough to know sometimes when it comes to game development because, you know, there's a lot of things that need to be considered when it comes to feel, but it really does feel really great. You can blow people away from across a room. It feels like, and that's really great because the shotgun has very limited ammo, unlike the assault rifle that has unlimited ammo but cools down. For lunaabyss, though, they have all the guns on cooldowns.
Selection completed. Scout 5, 4, 3, 7. Designation Forks. Location Canyon District. Investigate immediately.
Fox, we'll have to look at disconnecting the data. Recognize that all of us are be able to follow where that sound is coming from. Looks like that
one that breaks shields, which is the shotgun, and it all has a lock-on system. It feels more like, in terms of combat, I know I said like Destiny, but it feels like if Destiny had a baby with Returnal, in terms of bullet hell, in first person. So I can't wait to play the full game when it comes out, if it's not too ridiculous. Oh, found it.
Oh, nice.
Okay. I think that'll be a good place to kind of leave off. I mean, it's an exciting summer for Xbox, for sure. And I can't wait to go on the Direct Gaming podcast and talk about that with people for, no offense, longer than you usually are able to.
Yeah.
That's again not the biggest deal in the world, but yeah, that'll be nice. Okay, let's see what we've unveiled.
This is so
Rum rolling?
Hopefully it's the car we think it is. You want to document this? We could film it.
Oh, and speaking of cars, I tried to show my parents the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
How?
We DNF'd after 20 minutes. This movie is way too offensive.
It looks pretty classic.
Yes, definitely.
The black guy
car
likes Michael Jordan.
Both.
How fucking cliche. And he has sneakers. Of course he does. And he has a ridiculous car that looks like the Hulk. I guess that's kind of fun, but it's like, what does that really say about his character at all? I don't really know. And then the girls are super duper sexualized. It was 2006. It was a very different time.
Yeah.
I get it.
I mean, I did love that movie back in the day. I'm not like a huge Fast and Furious fan. I haven't even watched anything past like the 7th one, but yeah, I haven't watched that movie in a solid 15 years, so I'm sure some of it does not hold up.
Yeah, I'll still muddle my way through it for the driving sequences, but I had hoped to talk about it all excited, and I really just am not. It's whatever, you know. It was criticized for the script and performances at the time too. So, you know, the driving sequences are really why you watch that movie, and since my parents don't care about that stuff, and need to get invested in the characters.
If you're gonna watch like the Fast and Furious series, it actually is crucially important to some of the later movies as those go forward into the future.
Right.
Because Tokyo Drift takes place after a lot of them, and then
apparently it got retconned to being after 6 and after 6.
Yes, because
7.
Han does show up in Fast 7, I think it was. No, it might have been the end of Fast 6. I honestly don't remember. Those movies are such a blur.
And you're speaking Greek to me because I've only watched part of 1 until I DNF'd that for being fucking boring, and 5, but I fell asleep.
The first movie's not great. Those movies really, to me, get good with Tokyo Drift in terms of like the actual like movie making, because the first one was like a fluke hit that spawned a second one, which was definitely the worst in the franchise, and then Tokyo Drift, and then the fourth one was almost like a soft reboot, and from there they kind of found their legs for a few movies.
Yeah, I'm not investing in 10 movies.
Yeah, I can't speak on anything past Fast 7. I just haven't bothered. I did see the spin-off movie, Hobbs and Shaw, and that was not good. But I can't really speak on the last couple.
I really am not interested in The Rock being literally contractually incapable of losing fights. So most of his movies are boring to me now.
Yeah.
And that would be one of them. But I do own the collection, actually. It was on sale back when Microsoft at Movies and TV was still a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just get my precious. Oh, I have 15 skill points. Dang. I really haven't invested those in a while. Okay. Slippery target. 200 IQ. Nice. 15% more skill score from Daredevil skills. That's cool because I'll be doing a lot of these danger signs very soon. Like, definitely tomorrow I'm gonna play more of this game after I finish editing the video and uploading it. So, yeah,
tomorrow's my day off, and I don't have too much going on, thankfully. So I'm definitely gonna, like, I played a few small sessions, but that first day it came out, I played like 5 hours. It might be another one of those days tomorrow, especially with the heat.
Yeah, if you're...
Run the AC a bit.
next week, I'll only be really available after Monday, so like Monday evening maybe.
That works because I'm working basically I'm working like Friday. No, I'm off Friday. I'm working like I work Wednesday, Thursday, and then I work Saturday through Monday. So like Tuesday,
Brutal.
like Monday or Tuesday next week should be good for me.
Even with the holiday, dang. Well, I guess
mean,
medical care
it's a
doesn't take a
job.
holiday. Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Doesn't take a holiday there. So
I've never
yeah.
really had a job that does take holidays. I think that's becoming a little more rare.
Yeah, I just was grousing to my mom about how we have some of the least vacation days of any developed nation, and how much, you know, we all end up having to work, even if, for me, most of the time my job is very boring. I still have to be present for 8 hours, just in case something does come up, which, again, it did bore. And, so for the next show, well, I'm thinking that I'm gonna try doing live streams of Lego Batman once I switch the once I switch my pre-order from the indefinitely delayed Switch 2 version. Now that it'll be unlikely that I'll have much time for video games with Tato this year. If it had come out earlier this year and I was seeing him this summer, that would be a different story, but oh my god, I keep getting freaking stuck on terrain. I'm just gonna teleport to another mascot while we wrap.
Okay.
There are actually some really tough ones that I would like some help with when we next play. So I'm just setting a group route just to set a group route. And fast travel. Duh. Oh wait, no, there's now a reset car position button in the menu. It's kind of tiny and hard to see, but you click down on the left stick to do that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yep.
So that's good to know if you don't. Anyway, so I'm thinking of doing that, and then, as well as James Bond 007 First Light, I'm hoping that receive $10 for playing 10 minutes of this game also works with the disc version, though probably not. But anyway, then I'm hoping that I can put them together and quickly do something with you. Like, that game is gonna release on the 27th. My birthday is really packed this month.
Yeah.
With games. So roughly around then I would hope to do a show, but if not, and I'm not on the other podcasts on Sunday, the 7th. Well, that's a ways away too, so no, that's scratch that. So if you're available around then to do a show, that would be great. If not, I can composite these two live streams and call it a day. But it would be really great to get your thoughts on my thoughts on both while we play some more of this amazing game.
Yeah, so, I'll probably still be heads down on this game for at least another couple weeks.
Oh yeah, me too. And if we play any more of it and there's colossal gaming news, you'll see it every 2 weeks on SunnyRedemption Sailing, your bi-weekly voyage for BSV gaming news. Thanks for sailing with us. Have a good one.
All right, yeah, see you later. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.